I said, guess who's back? Man, guess who's back? I said, guess who's back? What's going on, boxing fans? It's Backchat TV and I'm back with yet another video. So the games continue. Terence Crawford and his team making strategic moves to try and get a title at middleweight, super welterweight, let's say, junior middleweight, whatever you want to say. And the next move, the next chess piece move that they've made is to go after the WBA champion, Israel Medramov. Now that might be a name that doesn't ring any bells, and I wouldn't be surprised. But just because it doesn't ring any bells, it doesn't mean he's not a tough fight, which I'm going to go on to talk about. He's had, I think, 11 fights, 10 or 11 fights. He's won them all, apart from one which he drew. His last was a knockout win against Kurbanov. And Kurbanov, if you don't know Kurbanov, is a good fighter. It was a very good win. Tough guy. A very difficult guy to knock out. I don't think he's ever been stopped before. And he was stopped by Medramov, Israel Medramov. He's now the WBA super welterweight champion. Now, the fight apparently has been made because Sheikh Turki Al Sheikh out there in Saudi Arabia, he is now working with Terence Crawford, and that's how this fight got made. So, you know, now that they've got Turki Al Sheikh involved, I think this is going to shake up a lot of things. I mean, working with Turki Al Sheikh's definitely going to be very beneficial to Terence Crawford's career. You know, due to the fact that most of the time, you know, a lot of the fighters that Terence Crawford wants to fight is with the PBC, and it's just a nightmare doing work with them because we all know Al Heyman doesn't like to fight people in different promotional companies, and the back and forward they make you jump through a lot of hoops. And they have Errol Spence as their poster boy. You know, so for Terence Crawford to kind of get out of that matrix, he needs someone with a lot of influence, definitely a lot of money behind him, who can make these big fights happen without the PBC. You know, and the only person is Turki Al Sheikh, which is the main person you need on your side. So Terence Crawford is really, I think he's really won this battle between him and Errol Spence. You know, battling for big fights. I think he's done very well to kind of circumvent that whole matrix with PBC, and now working with Turki Al Sheikh, getting this shot at the super welterweight belts against Medramov, I think is a good way to go. It's a tough fight as well. Like I said before, it's a very tough fight. This guy is not someone who's going to lay down. You know, I think he may end up being Terence Crawford's toughest fight. Now, someone might say, well, that, you know, that's ridiculous, but it's just because people don't know him. You know, but if you watch him, he's a tough guy. He's a very tough guy, naturally bigger man than Terence Crawford. I think he's going to be just as strong. He may lose out a decision because Terence Crawford just has more boxing skills, but I think he's going to be the first person to maybe take him the distance, because super welterweights don't lay down. They're bigger men, they're stronger. Like I said before, to me, this guy Medramov reminds me of Triple G, but a more athletic version, maybe even more, I don't want to say powerful, but I think more explosive. So definitely a dangerous fight for Terence Crawford. If he comes through that, then we know he will have 2 of the belts. If they unify the belts, obviously we know what Fundora not making the fight with him mandatory may get stripped, and then we might see Terence Crawford in prime position. We know Fundora is not fighting Terence Crawford, so this is a good move for Terence Crawford. But let me know, I don't want to make the video too long. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of Medramov. You may have no thoughts about him because you don't know him yet, but I've watched a few of his fights. He's a tough contender. So, you know, it's not going to be easy if they make this fight. I would edge Terence Crawford to win, obviously, just because of the name, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't win, because obviously he's fighting at another weight class. He's naturally a much smaller man, Terence Crawford, coming from 130 pounds, I think it was at one point. You know, 140, 147, 154. When is he going to start pushing the boundaries of his natural frame? We need to realise that, you know, if he loses, we can't say, oh, you know, he was just hype or something like that. Weight classes matter for a reason. It doesn't matter how good you are. You know, Tank Davis is a great fighter, but we're going to see him not be able to do the things he could do at lightweight if he comes up to middleweight. You know what I mean? It makes a difference. So, you know, Terence Crawford is fighting a very tough man here. I think he'd have an easier job against a Fundora, who I think is very one-dimensional. I think a Tim Tszyu, who's a good fighter, strong guy, but very basic kind of style. Medramov, naturally bigger guy, stronger, very explosive. If you see the way he finished the last guy he fought, you know, it's not an easy fight. So if Terence Crawford wins, I think he deserves to be a welterweight champion, to be honest. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. I'm on to the next one. I said, guess who's back? Man, guess who's back? I said, guess who's back?